Alright, so now the actual units. Last video I went over pretty much all the changes. Now we're going to go over RHYA and VETTO, which are two very interesting units. I'm personally might be summoning for RHYA. We'll see on stream tonight. So I'm obviously going to be streaming the update. Hopefully it does release at 11 p.m. EST. So we're going to go over the, both their kits and their skill pages. So that's what we're going to do. I think that, at least for these, from what I've been seeing, the skill pages are not insane, which is good. I think that it's good to have not insane skill pages because they're really hard to get, right? Like Nagato got his Lich Max Awakening 5 before he got before he doesn't even have the skill page. Before he got Liched 6 times before he could even get the skill page once. So let's just talk about it. Let me pull up Pride Window. Okay. I just wanted to have like some comparisons for when I need to talk about some things. So first off, I'm going to pull up RHYA. I want to compare this guy to RHYA because he works in the same fashion. AoE skill 1 and then skill 2 and alt are single target, which is literally the only Yami, which is the only person who has a skill 1 AoE with, I'm pretty sure, at least for SSRs, right? There's no other person with, except for Lotus, but Lotus is like a debuffer. Yeah, only one. And now there's RHYA, so they work the same fashion. RHYA even copied his animations. They have the same animations. So anyway, for AoE, if you have a buff on, you do an additional attack worth 30% attack and magical attack. The only thing I'm not too sure about with this is if it's AoE or not. If it's AoE, this is going to be insane because it's going to make it up to a 92% multiplier. I want to see for Yami what his 55 plus 12. 55 plus 12 would be 67. So this is lower than Yami's at max, but it gives the additional attack, and if that's AoE, that's gonna put his way above Yami's in terms of damage, and it's gonna be very nice. I think that RHYA just being green is going to be very good. Now for his skill 2, it's single target and copies 2 buffs, which is insane. You choose a good person to copy the buffs from. Let's say it's William. William buffs the DPS. You attack them with the skill 2, you get the speed and attack buff. Because of course, what William gives is increased attack, increased speed. So you're going to get both of these buffs, hopefully, if you get lucky. And then that's going to be good. I would definitely say if we directly compare it to Yami, it's better in most cases unless he gets the stun off. Because of course, Yami applies the bleed, and then you could get the guaranteed stun. But I think that getting both buffs is really good. And in terms of damage too, it is worse. Like maxed out, it's not amazing damage, but it's not horrible because you get the buffs, and I think that's like definitely one of the main things. Now the ultimate is insane. I think that this is like a better version of Jack's ultimate, because if we go to Jack's, basically what Jack does is per buff he gets 10% crit damage. RHYA gets 15% damage increase per buff. Come on, 15% damage per buff. If you have 5 buffs, this ultimate is literally gonna do 300% damage. Like, insane. And of course, if you have 2 or more buffs, you also do a 70% additional attack too, which is like crazy, bro. This guy in total, just level 5, if you don't count the damage increase per buff, it's 300%. If you count the damage increase per buff and you have like 3 buffs, that's like almost 350, bro. This ultimate is going to do literally, it's going to be a nuke. Like, it's going to do the most damage in this whole game by far, depending on his stats. So I think RHYA is definitely good just considering his skills and his ultimate. Definitely worth it if you want to spend, but he is very close to Yami in terms of build. Of course, Yami is a bit different. He's more crit, but RHYA is just going to be doing damage galore. So it's insane. It is insane. Now, for his combos, normal, it's AoE, and also, obviously, the with Liched. So, basically, for the normal, it's just 25% damage increase if there's a buff on self. Nothing crazy, but you could still do pretty good damage, honestly, with it. Now, as for the Liched one, this one, I could see you using it if you want an AoE instead of ultimate. It copies a buff from partner, which is going to be good, and then applies level 2 all attack power to self and Liched, which is going to buff Liched. Well, I mean, it won't buff Lich because it's only going to work for that one turn, but it's going to be insane. You guys are going to do insane damage with both of them, especially if it's a blue team. And then as for his passives, so we've got the, I'll talk, by the way, I just want to say, I'll talk about like if you should summon at the end. So, passives. Unique LR, you recover 15% of max HP when buff ends once per wave. Insane. This is going to be good for PvE, and at least you get the 15% HP restore for PvP once. Bro, this is insane. Like, this is, usually DPSs take a lot of damage, so like, at least this will make it so that he doesn't die right away. And then his Awakening, the dupe one, increases attack by 5% for each buff, up to 3 times, so 15% attack increase also. I would say you might want to get it, honestly. Like, I think RHYA is going to be amazing. And now we'll go into the should you summon part for RHYA. So should you summon? I'd say yes if you don't have Red Yami. If you have Red Yami, it should very much depend on your green DPSs. Because RHYA could be very good for PvE. But you have to know that like he's basically Red Yami for PvP, and if you put your money into Red Yami, you might not want to go for RHYA. But I think that RHYA, especially with Lich, maybe against blue units in PvP could be great. You could use them for different colors. Of course, it's a rock paper scissors game, so I think having a really good green unit in RHYA will be amazing. RHYA is also going to be really good for raid. Pretty sure there is a part where green is type advantage, the first part, so RHYA is going to be insane with his ultimate. You put, like, I don't know, you put one buffer with RHYA and his ultimate's going to go crazy. And then I'd say just PvE is really good in every single mode. PvP, he's also amazing because he's going to be healing at least a bit, and he has an AoE that does an additional attack. Hopefully that's AoE, so I think that for should you summon on RHYA, yes, if you don't have any other green DPSs, but if not, you should consider that there is a season coming up, a new season coming up next week, and there's going to be at least three new characters, maybe 5. So RHYA is going to be quite the guy. I think that he's pretty good. Yeah, PvE especially, I think he'll be insane because you get up to 45% max HP recovery in total, and for DPS, getting the HP recovery is really good. I'm liking how they're going in the direction of increasing the defendability of attackers in like Fauna with lifesteal, RHYA with recovery, and then Lich with immortality. Now as for the skill page, it's an easy skip. You don't need to like try to go for it because all it adds is remove 2 buffs from an enemy, and then what this does is increase accuracy, and accuracy basically pierces through blocking. And blocking blocks up to 30% of damage, but it could block only, sometimes maybe 10%. So increasing the accuracy might get you up to like 15% damage increase, but you're better just running a different one. And as for the removing buffs part on his skill 2, why it's not crazy is that mainly the big buffers increase speed. So the buffers are going to at least guarantee, let me show you. So the buffers are at least going to guarantee that the person they're buffing gets that one crazy hidden. So like Fenrir, he's gonna buff speed and attack, or like damage in terms of like crit rate, and then if you want to do her skill 2, you're gonna increase attack, right? And then for Sally, it's gonna buff magic attack and crit rate, or all attack and crit damage, right? So either or, you're gonna be buffing attack, and then especially William, I think William's the main example I'm trying to give. He buffs speed and attack. So if you consider that he's gonna have to attack to remove the buffs, he's going to be attacking after the DPS does their big hit. I'm counting for PvP exclusively. For PvE, this doesn't really matter, by the way. It's pretty useless for PvE. But for PvP, he's gonna be removing the buffs after they get their big hit in. So there's no point really going for the skill page at all, if it makes sense. Because removing the buffs is great in some cases. I think that the only case where this will be good in is against Lich with his immortality. Immortality is literally the only case I see this being good, but if not, no need to summon for this. There's no need to try chasing it. Vetto, I'm just gonna pull up Red Asta. It's kind of sad, not gonna lie. So, Vetto skill 1 applies weapon disarm, which lowers attack and magic attack. I'm not sure how much it lowers it by. I couldn't find an example, sadly, sorry, but for 2 turns, single target, one person has their attack and magic attack lowered. Skill 2, AoE, applies 50% lifesteal if your HP is less than 60%. Could do very good damage. And then for each subdued, I'm not sure if it means dead, but I'm going to guess dead ally applies 50% damage increase. This, actually, I just want to mention something. I don't know if it's 20 or 50%, because here it says 50%, right? But then you go to the skill page and it says 20%. We'll need to see. I hope it's 50. So if it's 50, this is going to do a lot of damage, and it's going to let you stay alive. And then ultimate, it's going to apply 70% lifesteal and another 35 if you have weapon disarm. So up to 105% total lifesteal, which could be very good in keeping him alive. But as we can see, he has nothing to keep the teammates alive. And of course, his combo is the one with the taunt, but it doesn't even matter. And then with Fauna, I'm pretty sure it's single target, but it's not specified, so I'm not gonna say anything. Attacks after applying increased damage effect proportional to current HP. I don't know why you would even use the combo when his ultimate gives him 105% lifesteal, which is gonna keep him alive. And then the passive, 15% toughness for 1 turn when lifestealing. That's okay. And then you get damage reductions against boss type enemies. I don't like that, man. I'd say it's pretty bad. It's a bad unit. You get taunt only on combo, but then none of your 3 skills have a actual taunt. He lifesteals, does damage. That's all. He's not a good tank. When you compare to like Red Asta, he has alt AoE that also puts him in a defensive state. And then if you do have, okay, never mind. So then if you put him with like Lotus or something, he could also get an AoE stun and dispel buffs. Then his skill 1 also increases his defense, which is going to be good for the whole team because of the fact that he taunts with 40% chance. I would say that Asta is way better than Red Vetto in my opinion, right? Then for his skill page, 60% chance to extend debuffs by 1 turn. Could be okay, but for PvP you already have like loaded Mars that does this, so not crazy. And then you get when after healing, get a barrier worth 70% to 140% of own attack. He's very selfish. He's selfish. He's too selfish for this current PvP meta. So if you need a red tank, I don't know. Even for PvE, I'd say run Red Asta over this because you need your tank to be tanking the hits, which is all fine and dandy. But I think that Red Asta is going to be better in terms of like taunting. So I'd say that using Red Asta is better. But if you just haven't built Red Asta and you want to get Vetto, sure, go ahead. I mean, he's not going to be dying. Of course, there is some cases where he could be good, but I just don't think in many cases he will be worth it. Now, as for if you should summon, I don't think it's worth it, especially when we'll get better red tanks or just use Red Asta, right? Of course, I think for this, it's not worth it to like use your crystals on this instead of RHYA. Or seasonals. I think that Red Vetto is just not really worth it, sadly. It's just with the current meta of how weak DPSs are, it's not worth to have a tank that's not going to really be helping with that. And I just don't see him being useful enough in PvE over like an SR Asta who's very easy to build, right? Like this one, you'd have to put in more SSR rank ups, especially. I just don't see any world where it's good. Even the weapon, I'm happy that at least both weapons are bad, right? I just don't see the, this could be good. For some people, honestly, but actually no, you need to lifesteal, so never mind. So yeah, I'd say RHYA is good. You don't need his weapon. Vetto's bad. You don't need his weapon. That's it. Goodbye.